I got into screen printing to screen print, right?
Yeah.
And I didn't get into screen printing to be a YouTuber.
Squeegee Podcast Season 2. This podcast is sponsored by Blind Maggot, Magnacolors, Screen Print World, Target Transfers, and Adobe Creative Suite.
It's Jonathan Overmyer, owner, operator here at Golden Press Studio in Franklin, Indiana. This is what we do. So,
yeah, but even just saying like, this is what we do. Now, surely you've got like, even on your website, you're not really calling yourself like head screen printer or anything like that. You're like entrepreneur. So, and then everyone's got like designer, videographer, and then I'm guessing there's some tattooists in there now. Like, how many different businesses are you still operating under like the Golden Press name? Or are these Golden Boys, or when does it change?
Yeah. So basically what I've figured out, just yesterday is, what I've figured out is that, we have a lot of things that we do, a lot of things that even a lot of people don't even realize we do. But yeah, we just operate all underneath the same roof, all underneath the same name. And it's kind of like just a big umbrella, right? And then we have all these shoots of just different services we provide. And thankfully, all those services really, really complement each other. And so when that happens, or when we think of something else that might help the business, we literally, it's as easy as, okay, who's going to take on, more responsibility in this new endeavor, to make this an added service or an added, option for people and for our clients. And, the cool thing about it is that this is where I really get to see my team thrive. I am not a one-man band. It might seem a little deceiving to some degree because you're like, oh yeah, no, they got all these things they do. But people think that it's probably just me and I'm the one that's, hands in everything. It's really not the case. I have a phenomenal team that they handle their own department. And that makes it easier for me as the serial entrepreneur to see all these different things. Just, man, this can work really well. And they are, like all my businesses, all the services we do are all profitable. It's not like that thing of like, oh, I'm going to start a t-shirt company to try like a clothing company, and hopefully we sell shirts and hopefully it's profitable. All my services that I provide, as soon as we let people know that we offer them, it's instant profitable. And it's because of just how well everything meshes together. So,
right.
But yeah.
So when you say it's under the same roof, is it literally like you own one building and there's different rooms within that building that operate all the different businesses?
So no, we've done some expansion here within the last year, quite a bit. First and foremost, we have the studio that I'm currently in, which is the OG studio. It's where, Golden Press got a name for themselves. On Instagram, people were loving our photos, the stylized photography, showing our process, showing our space. That's the studio I'm in currently. And that studio was printing, right? We were screen printing, manual printing. We were shooting, YouTube videos and, all the things we were doing. It was all underneath this. And within the last year, shifted drastically. And I'm still trying to I'm picking up the pieces and trying to figure out kind of next step, to keep this thing going super efficient and, get things dialed. But right now, currently, this space is out in front. We had about 600 square feet worth of just dead space. It was just collecting things. And now that's our tattoo studio, which I have 2 artists, a husband and a wife, and they're killing it. It's more of a private studio. Yeah, we do some walk-ins and whatnot, but it's more private studio. And then where we did all the screen printing, that is actually currently a tattoo spot now, also in the back. Okay. And that's Corey, our graphic designer. He just finished up his apprenticeship underneath Tracy and Liz out in front, and so now he's tattooing a few days out of the week. And nice. And then up here in the loft, it's kind of just work areas. That's about it. Yeah. But so that's studio 1. Studio number 2 is the auto studio. And so that is full blown production, washout area, dark room, production room, and that's full blown production. There's not a whole lot of anything else we can do over there besides print orders and get things in and get things out. Obviously shooting YouTube videos and stuff. It's good for that when we can actually dial that in. So, yeah. And then the newest endeavor that we started this year was the recording studio. And that whole recording studio is actually at my press operator's house. So, right. So he's my press operator, but he's also my, our recording engineer, producer. And then he's also the main honcho of the record label that we just recently started. So, yeah. So technically right now we have 3 studios that we're operating in, which I always thought was going to be really cool to have multiple studios. I was wrong.
Yeah. It looks like you're not even letting, you're finding people, but you're not letting any of their talents go to waste. You're like, where's that? You're a recording artist as well. We need to capitalize on that part of your skill set as well, not just let that drift off. Yeah.
Right. Well, so that's actually, if I could give everybody an idea of what I do I like to say I'm doing it well. Hopefully I am. But the one thing I feel very confident in saying is that I can give people the necessary environment to do what they love to do. Mm. And it doesn't matter what it is. Thankfully, all those, and they're all my best friends. So all those things is, just ideas that we came up with. And I'm just the crazy guy to say, yeah, let's do it. And we have other things we have to do to pay the bills. Mm. But as we add these services in, hopefully those things are going to pay the bills. And then as each person truly owns that department, then we're starting to bring in part-timers and people to take over their positions on the very thing that, makes us money, so that it's just that domino effect. So I've been fortunate enough to say that, I just invite my friends in. My friends want to work for me. They have a crazy idea. I say, yeah, let's do it. There's no reason not to. And we just do it. We pull the trigger, as the mirror on my wall says. And that's my, that's my, I guess that was Corey's tribute to me as he did that mural on the wall. Cause I just say, let's pull the trigger. Let's just do it. Because, what's the number one thing, or what's going to happen if we don't? Well, we're never going to know that it works. And if we do it and the door slams on our face, we just know, that wasn't the right door to go into. So thankfully they've all been doing really well. So
what are those things that you classify as just paying the bills? The ones that you don't like, maybe they're not very exciting, but they keep the lights on and pay everyone.
Yeah. So, We started off as a screen printing company. And so we've always been making money off of printing shirts. That is the definite money maker of the business. That's what definitely pays the bills. Our design department and just Corey as a graphic designer in the industry he's just blown up. His daily job is to come in and just literally respond to DMs on Golden Press's Instagram, DMs on his personal, now DMs on his tattoo profile. He literally, people want his artwork on their skin or on a t-shirt or, on an album or whatever. It doesn't matter, but he's gotten just a solid following of people just want his work. So, that department is, it definitely, if he's, struggle we have is that if he does a bigger art project and it's a logo branding package, that's takes him 4 weeks to complete. He's kind of he's multitasking and jumping from thing to thing, but those longer projects, I'm like, hey man, have you, done any t-shirt designs here lately? But that, design's definitely, the big money maker. And then of course, video, video's the other one that really truly pays the bills. But video is very tricky. It's the one that pays the bills and it's not as flashy, I guess you would say, as printing shirts and doing design work.
So this is you being commissioned to take videos for other people of their brands and things. Is that what you mean? Video production?
No, actually, yeah. So actually just for us. So, cause when I hired Jared, I was actually not expecting because again, he was pitching me of this idea of hey, I want to come shoot videos for you. I want to be on a monthly retainer with you and you pay me X amount of dollars to shoot videos for your business.
All right.
And then in that small talk, I go, well, why don't I just offer that to my other clients? And then I just hire you, and that idea just literally happened. We wrote down the business plan of what we were going to do to attack it. And literally within 6 months, we turned the video department it was a 6-figure business within 6 months of just doing monthly clients, monthly video work for outside people.
Yeah.
And the weird thing and the unfortunate thing is my guys were miserable.
Really? So, they didn't want to go out on locations for the brief could be really random and boring, basically.
Yeah. So it was we did video stuff for an excavation company, an electrical company, an electrical school. And it's just trying to make it look sexy and fancy. And it was just they're really not. We did a good job, but it was kind of the thing to where, we landed some, 6 pretty big contracts and we only did 6-month contracts. And when those contracts were done, we were see you later. It just wasn't what we, our master plan or our vision. And so we actually make a lot of money off of video based off of all the investment we've put into Golden Press. YouTube, anything content create, Instagram, Reels, any of that stuff. That's that underlining, underlining thing that just makes us a lot of money through all the other services we provide. So it's not necessarily we're not banking off of YouTube, ads, AdSense and stuff like that. But it's all the work that we get from us doing video for Golden Press.
Right. So it's not so you're not getting money directly from videos and people aren't paying you money to create the videos. You're saying as a consequence of the videos, you're getting more work?
Correct. Right. Yeah. And we have a few, we do video work for like outside clients. We have like one monthly, we do some videos for a local gym just because they're 5 minutes away.
Yeah.
It's easy to schedule a shoot day, you know, in and out, and it's all good. But I guess the biggest thing that we had to learn and just kind of figure out was like, we really want to do videos for the industry.
Yes.
We want to work with companies in the industry. And that's where I can sell Jared's, you know, his services. It's like, this guy knows how to film screen printing stuff. You know,
that's
like,
niche.
yeah. And like, for him being a videographer, that dude knows more about screen printing than any non-screen printer. Like, like he can talk to you about emulsion, and like he knows this stuff because we've done videos, and that's information he's had to learn. And so that's actually our new pitch. Like that's kind of like, we want to work with companies in our industry that need video work and need someone that knows how to film screen printing stuff. Right. So we've been selling our video work via that way. And that's actually, that's kind of like that. It's more satisfying for Jared to film. And it's just a better, you know, it's kind of like, you know, we were doing some local coffee shops and stuff like that. And Jared's like, yay, I'm going to go film some, you know, a latte being made, opposed from the stuff that like we're stoked about, you know, like, So
how do you get away from companies like manufacturers, for example, just wanting to like get you to do video work for them, but they don't want to like part with actual cash. They just want to be like, oh, here's some ink or here's some tape. And you're like, yeah, well, I can't pay the bills with tape or like a pot of ink, you know, like they're always trying to throw that kind of stuff at you. And you're like, this can't pay the bills. Or do you sometimes on some deals you go, okay, yeah, I'll see what you can give me and you'll pop up in the videos if that happens to work out. Like, how does that work?
Yeah. So again, that's been one of those areas that ever growing in and ever still trying to figure it out. Right. The thing that I've like kind of come up with, and the thing that we've just all realized is that, you know, with people or companies in the industry, like they love what we do, you know, and if they're like, man, you guys do really good at that for you. And so if I just put my product or my equipment in your shop or in, like, your audience is going to see that, and that in itself is going to be sales for us. And so, I mean, it is that influencer, you know, it's that influencer type of marketing that not a lot of companies get behind. And I also understand why, but I also am like, why isn't enough people, why aren't more companies focusing or seeing that as an asset for their company? But as of just going for, you know, with us and where we're at, you know, we're just trying to continue to do us. And if companies and suppliers and all that stuff want to get behind what we're doing and they want to sprinkle in their supplies, or their equipment, then we're on board. But I have learned just in the years, it's just kind of like, we don't want to shape our identity as a business off of, you know, working with, you know, other, like, we just have this clause in our contracts of just like, we're going to do what we want to do. And are you okay with that?
Yeah.
And if they are, then yeah, we'll more than likely work together. So
for example, like the Anatole thing, that was like quite a huge like build up on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So is that they give you the press and you feature it, and then just being associated with you is the payment for them? Or like, do you not have to put any money towards the press? And like, how did that one come about?
Yeah, I mean, So without giving too much details, because that's part of our contract, but, yeah, I mean, we basically worked out, it's the swap, right? And that's again, like I knew this was probably going to come up in our podcast, which is one of those just good topics to talk about and to educate people, is that influencers, right? I consider you guys influencers. I consider Lee an influencer, and what people don't realize is that really the only thing we're doing is exchanging services. A lot of people think that, influencers, we just get free stuff, or we have to say something really good about the equipment or whatever in the background to make, to work a deal. But in all reality, all we're doing is they have something we have, or we have something they want, and they have something we want. Mm-hmm. And so really all it is like, hey, instead of like paying for equipment, my videos or my talent behind my guys of their like 15 plus years of doing video, or Corey's experience of doing designs and this and that, that's the value swap.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, I mean, if I want your equipment, I'll pay for your equipment.
Yeah.
And you'll accept my payment of equipment. And so there's not a whole lot of, that's just where it's like, it gets really weird sometimes, or influencers get a bad rap of just like, oh, well, yeah, they send them free stuff and they just, say good things about it. It's just like, no, we're just swapping services. That's all we're doing. We're using our influence as leverage. And yeah, I tell everybody, content creation and influencing is not for everybody. Don't do it.
Yeah, it's hard work. But I see that like Anatole have brought you in for other things. Like you got like open days, and then you're kind of used as like a kind of like poster child of an Anatole user in some cases, where like they'll like invite you to another open access studio, and then you can all talk about your experiences with the equipment and stuff. So that seems like has that just been in recent years, or have Anatole always done those open house kind of setups?
Yeah, the open houses, that's definitely a new thing that kind of happened within kind of right after we got connected with them. They started doing those, and I mean, again, for us, we were just, we recently got a press, and so we could talk about, what we like or what we don't like about the press, and share that information with people. And and so it was more of one of those things of, also, we got, people, they wanted us out at these open houses to, bring in our influence of people, to go, show off equipment. Right. Yeah. And so again, it's one of those things where like, trying to just, on my end, I'm just trying to do what I do best, and that's to highlight things that I think deserve to be highlighted, and also, talk with the print shops that, really look up to us, and give them honest reviews and really good information of equipment, supplies, you name it, across the board, so that they're set up. Because if they're not set up well, and people either use supplies or buy equipment because we have that stuff in our shop, it's my job to educate. And yeah, I take that very, very seriously. I've been on just phone calls earlier today, just talking with shops that look up to us, and just really are just asking for advice on these very scary, unknown steps in business. And, it's my job to be honest, and it's my job to make sure, no matter what decision they make, it's good for them and for their business. So,
have you made any like bad decisions yourself for Golden Press that you're like trying to steer other people away from?
100%. One, like what, don't do YouTube. No. No. Yes. I mean, I think we're going through this, this just kind of season of, everybody thinks that to start a screen printing company, they need to start a YouTube channel, or they need to, they need to do what Lee does, what you do, what we do. And not that I want them to not have that opportunity to do it. I just like educating them, the hard work, the what actually goes into it, because I have a lot of people that are like, oh yeah, I want to get an automatic so that I have more time to start doing YouTube videos of my shop and this and that. And I'm just like, good luck. Yeah. Like, I just tell them the very hard truths of it is that, and I'll be extremely honest, is I thought getting an auto was going to free up space for us to be able to do more YouTube and to really focus on that part of our business. And it absolutely did the opposite. And people need to hear
why?
that.
Why? Because it's like, I think there is like a difference between you, Lee, and me, because I don't get paid in, like, no one just gave me my press, and I don't know what the situation with you and Lee is, but it doesn't seem like you did screen printing jobs, then put the profit aside and then saved up for your press and then bought your press in one go or on like a monthly finance thing. So that would be like the typical business plan for a normal screen print studio to be able to afford the automatic. But it looks like you guys have like done it in a very cool way where you've like grown your influence to such an extent that that's a commodity that these manufacturers want and they want to buy in and invest in you, but you haven't actually like put the money across from profits to buy the press. So it's not like something that they can follow in that way. That's probably why they want to become creators and do it the way that you guys seem to have. Is that fair to say?
Yeah. I mean, again, everybody's situation's different, and nobody truly knows like the fine details of like where everybody works with different companies. I mean, Lee has his thing. Lee, a lot of people don't realize that Lee was a absolute huge part in us getting connected with Anatol at the time. And, hats off to him. He's a freaking legend, and super thankful for, everything that he's done for the industry in general. But yeah, but it's like, trying to figure out, for us, I suggest people to, it's like, if you want to do YouTube, they need to understand that you're going to be investing just a lot of time into like, cause I got into screen printing to screen print. Right.
Yeah.
I didn't get into screen printing to be a YouTuber, like, as the first videos are really rough.
But you had the eye for the aesthetic and stuff. So that like really, that's something that's really strong on your channel. You've got like this look, you've got that all dialed in. So that's like, you can basically scroll through Instagram and you can go through 100 pages and then you can see when it's a golden press one. For sure. That's like one of your biggest assets, I think.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. And that was the ultimate goal. But like for me, like I mean, Jared could go on days upon days of just editing my first YouTube videos. Like I legitimately had to, I could tell you, hey, let's talk about emulsion and just have a conversation with you like I'm doing right now. And it just be flowing. And I have all that information. I know all that information. And you put a camera in front of me and tell me, hey, say all that again. And I couldn't. And it's like I had to pick up this new role and figure it out if I wanted to. And I'll be honest, a lot of people are probably a lot better than I am. And, but it's just a whole job in itself. And a lot of people don't realize that, I hired Jared on. And when we started really going a lot deeper into YouTube, we weren't using Jared's services to make money. I was investing and paying his salary into doing just stuff for us. And so that's that big sacrifice that people don't really realize and acknowledge. And they also don't acknowledge that Jared's got 15 years of experience. He's been shooting videos since he was a kid. Yeah. And so that just shows the talent of Jared, really. And so for you, if you're a screen printer and then you're like, yeah, I want to shoot YouTube videos. I encourage you because I think anybody can do anything. Anybody can be their own boss. Anybody can start their own business. I believe that. I encourage people. I suggest people to do that. But when it comes to content creation and YouTube and running that department of the business, I encourage people just know what you're getting into, because it's a lot of sacrifice, and I don't think everybody's cut out for it.
Do you also think, though, on the other hand, that you get an extraordinary amount of leads off the back of it, even though that wasn't the intention? Because I get a lot more inquiries than I anticipate. And I'm not advertising that I print for other people, and I still get inquiries because they see like educational videos coming out of the studio and they're like, well, she's educating other people, so I want her to print my stuff. So it's kind of like if you're coming out of social media and you're managing to be customer facing and you're talking about your craft, then that is probably the best advertising you can do. So if you 100%. Kind of know, so if you're making content not to like educate other people and try and be like another, Golden Press or something. If you do it like with the back of your mind, like I'm educating so I can get more customers. I don't know. How do you phrase that when people are like on your consulting course and that type of thing?
Yeah. So, I mean, I tell anybody that, content is key, but not everybody has to do content like we do content.
Yes.
So I actually, actually for you, for instance, you like tick me off in a nice way just because it's so easy for you to get in front of a camera and just talk about what you're doing that day. I've watched your videos of you just coding screens, like of just, oh, hey, we got some, we're going to do some burn screens. And that content is I want to say it's so easy for you, or you've just meaning you've put in the work to figure it out how to do that. And it's just so easy. I can't do that stuff.
I just don't have much like aesthetic. I don't care about the look of it. I'm like, get it up. But then Em does the editing, so I don't really know about that type of thing. So it's probably naivety, Jonathan, rather than a strength. Yeah.
I wish I could do that, but I can't because in the back of my head, I'm like, oh, it's got to look better. The lighting's got to be right, or this and this, or, oh man, there's a polar pop in the background. Get that out of the frame. I'm that guy. But like, that's the type of content that I actually suggest people do more of this. I can't do it. But do it.
Turn the camera on. Yeah. That's
exactly.
Much easier.
Because that's the world we live in, the organic. Hey, I'm going to go on an IG live and just talk about what I'm doing right now. Like, it will create service. Like people will hit you up because one, they kind of get to know you a little bit and they see your personality. If they like your personality, they'll order shirts from you. But to kind of go back on your question is that like, I think the biggest thing that like really, the one video that we did that like, it's funny that it just didn't make sense to me, but I was like, holy crap, it worked. Yeah. I was learning, or I printed on Windbreakers, and Windbreakers.
I think I've seen that one.
Yeah, it's not fun to do, and two, it's not a service you should really promote that you do, unless you're into that, And really, I did an order of Windbreakers for Corey's clothing line, and I was like, you know what? I should probably teach people what I know about doing these windbreakers. And so then, of course, I threw, a golden press design on it and we filmed it. And, I was like, I'm going to teach other screen printers on how to print on windbreakers. I just want to help out the screen printing industry, right? Like I want to help other printers print this and just not have to go through the mess ups of the design washing out in the first wash and all that stuff like I've experienced. Like I want to help them. The funny thing is that video literally was a salesman for us. I've like people would just type in, screen printing on windbreakers, and we'd pop up on Google, YouTube, and we were the first video that would pop up. And so I landed multiple windbreaker jobs, thousands upon thousands of dollars. And here's the thing I figured out is no other print shop wants to do windbreakers.
No,
so
it's up there with one of the most difficult ones.
Yeah. So what does that mean? That's a hot commodity, and I'm the only one that'll do it. So really it's kind of like name my price and people will pay it. And so, I took, you have to take in all the variables, right? It's like, well, are you going to melt, 20 independent, $30 wholesale windbreakers? Are you going to do that? Well, I need to take, that needs to be taken into account. And it's crazy that one YouTube video that we were teaching other screen printers was actually a huge salesman for us. And that, that's what our content does. It really does. It creates inquiries. It creates sales just because people are invited into what we do, the quality, what we care about. They see it and then they're like, hey, can you print my shirts? And then it's like, yeah, it's easy. But yeah, I mean, I did like a recent experiment, just on, we haven't really, I haven't been going after Instagram like we have in a long time. Probably a lot of people is like, oh man, like where's Golden Press? They only I posted 7 days a week for, over 2.5 years, 7 days a week.
Yeah. Do you think you burnt out, or do you think like you just got so many other priorities or? Well, one, I was just, I really wanted to be consistent at it. I wanted to, like you said, like when you scroll 100 photos, you see a Golden Press photo, so I wanted to get our content out there. I was huge on hashtags and, then Instagram started getting weird with reels and, algorithms and stuff like that. And then I just, we actually got shadow banned on Instagram because we were posting the same hashtags on every photo. And what I did was for 2 years, it was benefiting us. And I literally just had a text replacement on my phone. So I tapped the hashtag button twice. Yeah. And oh, boom, it's quick and easy. Right. And they actually started shadow banning accounts. And so our engagement just went down. And I was like, why am I investing this time into writing out a very, detailed description and not like my description's not just emojis, why am I doing that? And I'm getting less engagement. And so what I actually did
was my project or my experiment was we'll post from time to time, and I'm going to see what our social media will do for us if we're not posting. And the crazy thing is we are still getting endless order forms off our website with nobody seeing anything we did. It's just an engine it's working, it's moving. But I did notice that it's not as much as when we're constantly posting and just telling people and letting people know what we're doing. So
but for no effort, 80% is a decent payoff, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
So what is the capacity of your shop at the moment? Like, how many shirts are you putting out on like a weekly basis, for example? What is like busy for you? And have you seen any like seasonal changes, do you reckon?
Yeah, that's a really good question. I should probably know the amount of input or output that's happening. I really don't know. But what I do know is that we have two clients that they are monthly clients. We are printing stuff for them weekly, bi-weekly, and they're really large quantities, and they're getting bigger and bigger. And I was like, I'm just running some numbers and whatnot. And I was like, wow, out of just two clients is paying the bills across the board. And so any other orders that come in, and we like squeeze them in when like we can, like really working with like the actual deadlines and making sure, again, we're hitting all of them and putting the job in where we think it fits. That's been the new thing of just trying to figure it out. But with that is, we have some consistent clients that we're doing pretty high volume, and so it's almost to the point. What kind of
industry are they in? If they're ordering like monthly, because like that seems like, why would they not choose to like put in one order every like quarter or something like that?
Yeah,
and they not anticipate the sales.
Yeah, believe it or not, one is a clothing line, and they literally, without going into too much detail, because I don't want to, tell people their stuff, but, it's basically like, we just got a really good system and it's working. Is like, they have staple designs that are just sellers, and anytime they post that these shirts are available in a different color wave, same design, like they sell out. And so we got it worked out to where it's like, say for instance, I'm using not real numbers, but like, say for instance, they put in an order of like 350 shirts of like these 4 designs. Well, they got it leveled out to where I let them know when stuff gets shipped out. When stuff gets shipped out, they actually put that shirt live on their website.
Wow, that's
it sells out.
Yeah, so they don't even look in the box nowadays. That's cool.
Pretty much. It sells out before they even get the shirts delivered to them. They package everything. By the time they ship all that stuff out, I already have a new order. So it's really, to be honest, the reason why it's working really well is because we've done some insane legwork and like prep, and we've dialed in our order process to a T. Like, it's the most organized we've ever been. And that's the only way.
Why would a customer like that not want you to do the fulfillment as well? Is it just because you're not interested in fulfillment? If they know that like this is going to sell out, why don't you just keep it there, Jonathan, and then you ship it out for us?
Yeah, it's actually it works. One, I don't want to do fulfillment.
I wouldn't want to do fulfillment stuff.
I would be interested in offering that service, but I don't have the infrastructure to even think about it. So I'm not even going to approach it. But that's what they do best.
Right.
And they've done some like collab stuff with some other companies, and they do the fulfillment on that too. So like it's like, if I could copy paste over to us, it would be sweet. But I'm not mad. But yeah, we just, as long as we do our part of the process, then their stuff's dialed. And so But yeah, we've, just within this last year, like we've been really busy. Also to say that, it's also been extremely, we've also, it's been really an insane struggle. I wouldn't say this year. This year has been a really solid year. Since January 1, I've been pretty okay as a boss mentally, across the board. It's been really good. Last year was pretty rough. Just the transition of an auto and, all the moving parts with that. It was pretty rough, but we finally hit
the moving parts. You've got to set it up.
Literally.
Can I ask about working with friends and things and wanting to integrate different parts of your business? So say if I wanted to have a coffee shop and there's a guy who works as a barista, what is your advice on, do you physically pay their wages or do you set them up as freelancers, or how does all these collaborations work? Are the tattooists are they on your payroll now, or are they working separately? How do you figure that stuff out? That seems very complicated.
So the tattoo shop is definitely different. So, my tattooers, they're their own employers. They, really for them, they wanted to come underneath Golden Press's name. They've been friends of mine for many years. They've seen me start in my garage and then move in, and just move to multiple studios and all that. And they just wanted to get underneath the Golden Press name, which was obviously an honor to me. And, I don't know, it's really cool when you see other people wanting to get behind the things that you do. So, they handle all their own taxes, all that. Really, basically for the tattoos, it's basically they basically pay a booth rent. They rent out the space. What they pay us helps Golden Press function out of all the multiple studios that we do. Corey, him being a tattooer is, we have our deal and our agreements and stuff. He's tattooing out of the studio. He has X amount of days he tattoos. But inevitably Corey, he's just a W-2 employee. He's underneath Golden Press. I basically just do some splitting of some finances to help him out and help out his new passion, new endeavor that he's doing. As far as everything else, like the recording studio, the record label, all those things, that's all underneath Golden Press. I'm a salary guy. I like to pay people salaries. I can guarantee you this much for all the things that you do for this company. When we get to the point to where that's actually, the business is really profiting good money, your salary is going to increase. Any other avenues that brings in, revenue, at that time, it's hey, let's all get some bonuses, and so that's been the easiest way for me to handle that. I don't do really well with, well, here, I'll pay you hourly for this. And then I'm going to, here's a tip or, here's a bonus, I just don't do really well with that. I pay a payroll company to take care of all that, all the taxes and all that stuff. And that is literally the best $100 I spend every month for someone else.
I mean, the stuff you must get away with your accountant, because I try and put expenses through business wise sometimes. And I'm oh, this isn't going to go well. But you can put a microphone, a gallon of ink, a tattoo gun. You can put whatever you want. It's man cave stuff on expenses. You don't have to pay for anything personally now because all your cameras and everything.
No,
technically you could push it through one of them.
No, exactly.
If you wanted
You're absolutely right. Yeah. My accountant, she's so wait, what is this for? And I'm it's for this service that we provide. And she's like, okay. And I mean, well, the funny thing is there's like a lot of people don't realize all the tax write-offs and all the things that you can actually write off because it's what I'm paying to do business. But I think there's like the average human uses like 7 tax write-offs. There's actually over 400 that are available.
Like, what's some unusual ones? I don't know what tax.
I don't know. I think my stuff is just like, she's like, what'd you buy at Kroger? I'm like, I bought drinks for the studio, like to hydrate my employees to do their job, I don't get too weird, like I pay what I need to pay, but yeah, I buy a lot of stuff. I mean, yeah, you can, the amount of stuff.
I don't want to sound controversial, but if I was in your position, I would be a bit worried about Corey just going off on his own and making his own digital assets, because once you make a digital asset, that just pays you like a small sum monthly. And then I understand that he's built his name up alongside you and with you, but what's stopping him just jumping ship and just being his own entity?
Yeah. No, it's
not trying to freak you out, but you're giving them you're giving everyone so much freedom. And then they're like, do I need Golden Press anymore? Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. And that is definitely a question that, I've had multiple conversations with everyone, it's, cause it's like, Jared, you're extremely talented. You could literally like, what do you really need me for? Cause he's phenomenal at sales. So he's got sales and he does really good video. And then, Jordan, he came into Golden Press. He had, literally, I've bought some equipment for Jordan, but it's only been upgrades. So this dude literally has paid over, 15 plus years of worth of getting equipment, boards, drum kits, all that stuff. He's paid for all of that. So it's just and it's at his house. Right. And so it's why does he need me? And to answer your question is I'm not afraid and I'm not scared for anyone to go out on their own. If that's a route they want to go, I will 100% support them. But I also know that I have spoiled the heck out of every one of my employees to the point to where why would they want to is a question. And we all we're all friends. All of our families, our wives hang out, our kids play together, it's that good old, family, connection. We just work together also, but, we have this big vision, and we haven't even scratched the surface on it, but we have this big vision where we all see what it's going to look like when we get there. And that is the reason why everybody sticks with me. Okay, so Corey, you'll need each other really, the camaraderie and stuff like that.
Yeah. And just to talk on Corey is Corey has done so much on his, just as an actual graphic designer. That dude, he was doing when he first started working for me in the garage, and I was just throwing him some cash here and there to do some random designs. That dude, he was literally drawing pictures on a napkin and I took a photo on my phone and then pulled it up in Illustrator, but he lived out in the boonies, so he didn't have Wi-Fi. So he'd have to drive into town to steal someone's Wi-Fi to be able to edit this and then email it to the client. Then he would drive home. Then the client would say, "Hey, I got these revisions." And so that was his workflow. And when he started working for me, I made a deal with him. I go, "Hey, I'm going and buying you an iPad and an Apple Pencil today. But you're going to pay me back."
Yeah.
But
sorry,
go ahead.
Go What? I want to know what the but was now.
Yeah. But you're gonna pay me back for it. But you're also gonna see how fast your workflow gets and how better at a designer you're going to be because you have this piece of equipment. And so, and Corey's been with me from the get-go. It's like seven years. And that dude literally did a design every day for 365 days to just get better as a designer. But again, this kind of goes back to like video and paying for Jared's salary and paying for my guys is people don't understand that the reason, one of the reasons why Corey is blown up and gotten so good and why people want to reach out to him directly is because I invested into his salary so that he can do what he loves to do every single day of his life. And so Corey and we just have an understanding that, hey man, I want to pay you more money. And you're going to keep on getting better to where we're going to make more money together. And I think the one area to where could make a situation very sketchy is just greed. And we take care of each other, and it should be like people are like, but really, do you guys? Or like people are going to listen to this and be like, but do you? And this and that. It's just like, yeah, we take care of each other. Like that's it. Plain and simple. It doesn't have to be more difficult.
Yeah, exactly. Just trust and all that. Do you know how like you're saying initially you just like were able to buy him an iPad and that type of thing? Is that from you having like a cleaning business beforehand that's somehow generating cash, or like, because it says on like your Facebook that you have a cleaning company. Can you tell me about that? Because that's like super unsexy business, but it's important, isn't it? No, unsexy business is like this book, and it's like goes on about like you can actually like make your living in these areas that other people don't want to do. And 100%. Sometimes the money is there because everyone's going after like passion projects and do what you love, and telling kids that, you could be whatever you want to be, but actually someone still needs to do the portaloos and, hire out the skips. And that's where there's some unfound money.
No, you're absolutely right. So my window business actually really helped in the beginnings, help Golden Press get off, I always tell the reason why, here's the thing is I didn't realize, like everyone has a calling on their life. I just didn't know mine was an entrepreneur. I just really didn't. Yeah. And, so backtracking a little bit, I worked for a window cleaning company for 8 years. A month in for working for that company, my boss became one of my best friends. And it was it was hard work, but man, he made it so much better. And in those 8 years, what I didn't realize what he was doing is he was teaching me how to grow a business and manage a business and manage people and sales and all these things I didn't know about. I had multiple positions in the company. We did everything: carpet cleaning, window cleaning, janitorial cleaning, power washing, you name it. I was also like the assistant, like office assistant. I was doing invoices. I was doing all this stuff. And then he actually approached me and he said, "Hey man, you can't clean windows for the rest of your life. You're too talented. I'm going to force you to start a business."
Okay.
And he's like, "What would you want to do?" And that's when I mentioned screen printing. And he goes, "Yeah, let's do it." I'm like, "What do you mean?" He's like, "No." He's like, "I'm going to write you a check and invest into this new business."
Brilliant.
He did that. A year later, or my first year in business, in the screen printing business, he approached me the 1st of December and said, "Hey, I want to sell you the window business because I want out of it."
Right.
I go, "Whoa, okay, that's crazy." Because I was still, obviously, I was cleaning windows 9 to 5, printing shirts, 5 to whenever. Right. Mm-hmm. And I go, wow, that's kind of crazy. I don't know if I just got a year under my belt being a boss. I don't know if I can run 2 businesses and this and that. But the cool thing about the situation was I was already the face of the window business because I was the guy that showed up to all these locations and cleaned their windows and invoiced them and knew the person I was talking to on the other end of the email. And he's like, yeah, it's an easy transition. And literally to this day, people didn't even know that I took over the business. I did a separate LLC and I did a DBA, my doing business as, crystal clear. And to this day, people don't even know that I'm the owner of the company and that's what I do. So I decided to buy the business. Within the first year of owning a window business, second year of doing a screen printing business, I paid off the window business and I paid off the initial investment that my boss did into the screen printing company. I paid it off at 11 months in. And then from that moment on, I had a established business that already, was already making money, and so I used crystal clear money to like feed into Golden Press because Golden Press was obviously my passion and the thing I really wanted to do, the thing I had fun. And that's what it did. And then actually COVID hit and then I actually sold off a chunk of my window business and I kept some clients. I dissolved that business and I brought window cleaning underneath Golden Press also. So we clean windows.
Are you serious? You got Golden Press polos on and you hire you to come and clean the windows as well. Oh my God. So complicated, Jonathan. I know. You're like
I will stress anybody out. I promise you.
Let's get back to screen printing stuff quickly. Cause what's your view on the new technologies that are coming into screen print? Because say if now, right now, if someone's getting into it, they might be like, I don't want to do screen printing because DTF seems a lot quicker and I just need a heat press. Are you getting those people contact you and say, why would I bother investing in an Anatole 8-color press now if this is an option?
So I will tell you, I'm like the worst person to ask that question to, but I'll give you my very short answer. Just I'm not worried about it. I think screen printing is just supreme. And, I offer a few different printing, water-based, discharge, plastisol. So I always can tell my customer I can give them a better product, across the board. So that's my easy sales, oh, well, I was thinking about doing this or I could just do it myself. And I just say, well, do it. I dare you, start it, or you could just go with me. I have 8 years of experience and, I've printed a shirt or a few, work with us, but that's my quick, I'm not scared. I'm more kind of just, I love educating my customers, even though if they don't want to listen to it, it's like, I can go in a 30-minute conversone about emulsion and they're like, I just wanted t-shirts, but I feel like education really helps. It helps me sell to people because people just don't understand how a shirt's made. Right. So if you can give them the proper information without boring them, they'll be like, you know what? Yeah. I think a discharge print sounds really awesome for my design. Yeah. And you're not going to get that with the transfer. Right.
Yeah, so, I think genuinely just saying 2 or 3 good points about a shirt that they can quite easily accept, then they're using that to justify it to themselves. So, do you have a showroom there where people come in? Or I haven't seen a showroom in your place, but maybe you do.
No, so that's the other thing about us. I call ourselves a bat cave. Nobody knows we're here. So. Right. So with the tattoo shop, that's been a new experience. It's weird having random people that I don't know walk in, we have one bathroom here, it's just like, oh, people have to walk from the front through the back to go to the bathroom. I'm like, I don't know you. But literally I tell everybody, people still don't know that we're here. They we have no signage out front besides a little fold out sign just to let people know, like, hey, this is where your tattoo appointment is. Like I said, it's kind of like private studio. So everything's booked ahead of time. It's not like, we got to get 5 walk-ins today. That's just not how we operate. Yeah, and then the auto studio, it's a warehouse. It's an alley entrance that is just, people don't even know what the space is. So, but to answer that is, I always had, I had the vision of having like a retail in front for people to walk in and then look through the back window and see a screen print. And, it's so cool. Right. Yeah. And that, it just kind of faded. And I'm like, no, actually I'm going to focus online, social media, and that's it. The only people that really know we're here is UPS.
Yeah. No, that's how it should be, I think.
Yeah.
It's so distracting, people walking in, aren't they?
Yeah. So again, I just didn't want the person to walk in and waste 45 minutes of my time and then not end up ordering, as a lot of people deal with. I will say this, because it is kind of that, it's a little bit of a desire to have like a showroom. But that's going to just have to wait. I'm about to start the process of looking for the final headquarters of Golden Press. So, I need a big building, which costs a lot of money, and I'm willing to pay that money for the right building. So, but I want to bring all of our services underneath one roof. I want to get rid of all of our studios, except for this one. I might keep this one as an additional tattoo shop just because it's right on the main street here in Franklin. And so it's perfect location. The auto studio, I could say, see you later, even though I spent a lot of money making that place look really cool. But yeah, I'm just done investing into other people's business, like actual buildings. I'm ready to, and that future headquarters, I want people to walk in and really have an experience. But I think to provide that for that person, I have to hire someone that's 100% customer service. Anytime someone comes in, I pay one person to talk to them and to work with them. And that is a desire that I have. I want to be able to offer that. It's just, I can't do it now. So, and I acknowledge that, and I don't want to make the sacrifice of like, oh yeah, we got walk-ins and maybe I'll land and as you probably know, it's like usually the walk-ins aren't the type of business we want to do anyways. You might get lucky from time to time, but yeah, we like.
I never have. In 10 years, I've never had like a walk-in go, oh, here's a really great job. It's always been like my name on the back of a football shirt or.
Yeah. Tight.
Yeah. Just don't want it. No, I think you probably, it might be like a vanity project to actually do the showroom. Yeah. And it might be a nice thing to have, but it might actually just drag you over here and distract you away from all your perfect customers, perhaps.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's kind of like what YouTube kind of does for it. That's like kind of, again, my mind could shift tomorrow and I'll be like, no, I'm not doing it. But like, we did YouTube and we did really focus on Instagram to invite people into what we do. And they're like, wow, that's really cool what you do. I just want to be connected with you guys, like some way, shape or form. We've built phenomenal relationships with, shops and clients, and they get excited to come get their shirts. And so that pumps me up. And so I kind of just have this vision of like, man, if I had like this headquarters building to where I literally I might waste some time, but people are going to walk in the doors and be like, holy crap, you started off in your 2-car garage, 8 years ago. You're like, what you guys are doing is fun, and they just get excited. That pumps me up, cause like that, it's kind of like a proud moment of a business owner that we don't give ourselves enough of is like, wow, like a concept that was in here is in front of us now. And other people actually think it's cool, which is kind of all of our goal, right? It's like, yay, like,
I kind of want to keep my gate closed and just like, I don't know. I think I wanted that for a bit. And then I'm like, no, actually, I just want to be left alone for just an hour without any calls or anyone coming in. Oh, I wanted to ask you, this is something I ask everyone, like, what is your unpopular opinion in the industry? And you can't say nothing. You have to give me one.
Let's see, unpopular opinion. Dang, I saw this in the questions, and I was like, I should probably
run out of time for that one.
Yeah, look at the time. I gotta go. No, unpopular opinion. Oh man, I don't know. Unpopular opinion. Because I do water base and I do discharge and plastisol, like, to all water based shops out there, they're probably like, water base is king. That's it.
Yeah.
It's the best feeling product, shirt you can give. Unpopular opinion is, guess what? Plastisol prints are pretty awesome too. and like, you can still achieve the perfect product for your client. It's like, I always wanted to offer discharge and just water based. Like, I wanted to offer those things. Mainly I wanted to learn. And then after I dialed that in to be able to offer that to people and people get excited about that. However, people get excited about a sweet plastisol print, and nowadays with like how the styles of shirts have just changed, like everybody's into the big boxy, like comfort color, like boxy heavyweight tee. And I'm like, just slap plastisol on that. They're not going to feel it. You could literally do a freaking a 13 by 19 square or rectangle on the back of a shirt and they would love it. And so unpopular opinion, I would have to say that. That's the only thing I can come up with is.
I like that one. Yeah. I had this experience at the weekend where I was training a new person in our shop. Like, we've got all the shirts and he was like, so what ink have you used on all these different shirts? And I showed him like 5 different things. And he's like, yeah, but why aren't you putting water-based on all of them? Because you're saying it's really soft. And I'm like, because that one's like a dark shirt with a fluorescent on it. Like that would look crap. Or I wanted to use puffing on this one, or this one lends itself to discharge. So I think it's having all these weapons, weapons in your arsenal. But you have to, they've all got different purposes. And if you just stick to one, you want to die on that hill about water-based. Well, water-based and discharge printing isn't the most environmentally friendly. So, go on that.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, for sure. No, I just think, I like weapons in your arsenal. I really like that because like that's all it is for me. Like, I will tell people water-based and discharge, like you have to have your stuff dialed. I'm like in the redialing process right now, just because going from a manual to auto, it's a different ball game, like, oh, I can print, water-based or discharge like 50 to 100 shirts, no problem. Well, try doing 3,000, and your screen breaks down or, you got a pinhole and you can't spray it out because it's not plastisol and, you just butchered 50 shirts, again, don't get me wrong. Like I want to have all the weapons to where, I can just serve my client the best, but again, you can make all your customers happy. Plastisol, water base, both. So
yeah, both on the same bloody shirt if you want. Who cares?
exactly.
I do that, and it's just whatever you want.
Yeah.
We don't need camp one and camp the other one. So yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I actually just recently did, like it was a big back print. And so it was like white and then we had red. And I was like, let's discharge out the white and let's just throw red plastisol over that. It's like, it's easy, just laying that. And it was it wasn't heavy red on it. Turned out great. We used 2 weeks. Did we have to? No, we could have used, water base or discharge on both. It doesn't matter. It's whatever, really. I say this a lot. It's like, I'm a freaking adult. I'll do whatever the hell I want. Like, don't tell me I can't do something.
Yeah. But I think printing, when you understand all the different parameters, then it's more like being like a chef and all these things are just like the ingredients that you're cooking with. So
100%.
I could do this shirt design. If we send that design to 10 different printers, I'll get 10 very different shirts back. And it's just like how good a chef you are and how well you use your equipment. So that's why people keep coming back to you, because they've noticed that actually you're a little bit of a cut above, because there are factories churning out shit and they have to use plastisol and they have to throw out 10,000 units, but we're not we're not that equivalent in the industry. We're like the little tiny restaurant that people come to and they book in advance, which is what me and you want our shops to be, I assume. But
yeah. Well, I got a question for you. I just wanted to, know a little bit about like, what's your next step for Squeegee and Ink? I mean, see, you kind of look at me and say, oh, you offer all these services, but I could say the same about you. And I like it. I really do. It's, but
so what are you asking? Like what I do all day? Because I don't. No, I don't even know what I do all day.
No, I'm just curious. Like, have you in your business hit a point to where you're taking away services because you do too much, or are you taking one away and adding a new service that's better serving your clients, that's maybe easier for you as a business owner to do? And maybe you make more money on this one than you did with this other one. And kind of, because I feel like that's our job as entrepreneurs, is just finding what works and what doesn't work. But is there anything new for you? Because I literally, when I found you guys, I was like, man, I always wanted to offer like pre-burned screens for people. And I'm like, like you're still doing that, right?
Yeah.
And is it?
I could explain it all to you if you want. So yeah, the pre-burned screens and the film, that is servicing other printers in the UK. And then, so that helps different people on different levels. If they're a proper studio, but their exposure unit went down, they know where to get the screen from. Yeah. Like that's one type of customer. Then another one's like, I don't know how to expose a screen. I just want to print something for my business. Yeah. So that's the other one. And then that customer can like have lots of interactions with us. They can like come and do a workshop day. They can do our like buy some templates or our digital resources. They can do our online courses and stuff. And they've got lots of different touch points with us. And we can still supply them with screens throughout their progression until they buy an exposure unit or something. But the thing that I've removed is custom orders. So like I don't really print for other brands anymore, which used to be my big thing, print for other breweries and all that kind of things. So I've just swapped those customers out and I've just put my own brand in. So I'm kind of like my own customer. That means that I can do my own tutorial videos using my own designs so that I'm teaching the thing that I want to teach instead of waiting for that thing to come up in a custom thing. So then we've got the shop to sell those. That's it. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. No,
quite complicated, but it's taken a long time to get to this point. But,
no, that's good. No, I've obviously seen, Blind Maggot and just like seen the shirts, and I know how you think, because like, again, like Windbreakers, right? Going back to like, like I wanted to learn how, I wanted to teach someone how, but I didn't want to do Franklin High School, you know, on a windbreaker, you know, like I wanted to focus on a cool design that Corey did. And then, so it not only promoted Corey's design work, but it promoted the fact that you can buy a Golden Press shop windbreaker, and it promoted the fact that it promotes everything we do. And so again, we always hit that moment of like, hey, we need to do a video. So what's the design? You know, it starts there, you know, and then thankfully we print some really cool stuff for some rad companies to where I'm like, you know, if it works out, then they're like, yeah, let's just print this stuff, you know, like, because good designs, you know, stuff that's very pleasing to the eye. And so, so, you know, you're killing it on that aspect. Like, again, I think, you know, I have something on the back burner. I do want to do a clothing line, but it's just, we're doing what we're doing right now. And I want to give it 100%. And I'm not at that point, but I see your tactics and how good, like, you're thinking of like, yep, YouTube video. All right, I'm going to sell t-shirts off of this YouTube video. I'm also going to sell my services, this and this and this. It's that really good ecosystem that us content creators can create. We're just creating sales funnels off of everything we do. And so I'm a huge fan of what you guys do. You guys are killing it. So
thank you very much. That is the whole thing, like that organism thing. I think once you said like, how are you doing all this stuff? And I'm like, you're doing exactly the same thing. So like your YouTube video then becomes like an article, becomes a digital product and writing it, and then it becomes 10 other things. If you're producing content and think, oh, this is an Instagram reel. Yeah. You just let that die on Instagram reels. It has to be 10 things. Not one, because you're just not milking it. You're not like capitalizing on it. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Right. So people have so much to follow you on. Are we just like, are you going to funnel all the new things through your normal Golden Press Instagram, or are you kind of doing on your YouTube, you documenting it like a documentary style, like with all these new ventures popping up? Yeah.
So, you know, usually I'm pretty adamant about having everything in a certain place and this and that. I think right now I'm just kind of enjoying the behind the scenes, you know, like, hey, we started a record label. It's like, guess what? We bought the domain. We haven't even created a website, you know, like I'm working on like, you know, lawyer contracts and, you know, that stuff, like, and like, you know, setting up the platform that we're selling our artist music from. Like, we're doing all that stuff, but like, I mean, again, we haven't started, you know, Golden Press Records Instagram. Is anybody going to follow that? Should we just put it underneath the Golden Press Recording? Because we do have that Instagram. You know, we're trying to figure out the like ecosystem and how we want things to bleed into other things. Right now, I think just on, you know, Golden Press's main screen printing page, I think what I'm wanting to do to our audience and our, you know, people that care about what we do is I'm just being a little more flexible and saying, hey, we are no longer just a screen printing shop. We do a ton of different things, and hopefully those things are things that people like and enjoy. We got like a huge response when we posted that we started a record label. People are still DMing us and just saying, man, congrats. Like, wow, that's really cool that you guys weren't like limited, you know, like, and just felt like you hit this cap. Like, you can have other avenues of business. And so, you know,
it's not a shock, is it? It's not a shock if Golden Press have a tattoo studio or a record labal. It's a bit of a shock with the windows. Like, that doesn't like hide that one at the back because it doesn't quite gel. But like, I think it just works because you're really creating what a lot of studios are trying to do is like create a brand for their studio, which is relatively boring, isn't it? Like, manufacturing t-shirts is a relatively boring thing. But then we're putting like aesthetics on it and we're making it, you know, desirable. So
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, nope, 100%. So yeah, just follow us on Golden Press, and usually we're just trying to post more things in our stories of just all the other endeavors that we have going on. But yeah, I mean, if you need anything, we probably do it. So hit us up.
Yeah. Don't go on your channel if you don't feel like you're doing enough that day. But if you're like having a good day, then you can see what the boys are doing. I don't know. Yeah. No, it's so cool. Thank you so much, Jonathan.
Awesome. Okay. See you later.
Hope you have a nice day. Bye.
Yeah, you too. Bye.